I've been a competitive powerlifter since 1999, so going on 16 years now. Had a pretty successful career in that. Started off kind of in the low ranks, just like anybody else, and worked my way up to a couple really, good championships, national championships. 3 years ago, I picked up some bodybuilding, did one figure show, and then went on to physique to where I could build a little bit more muscle, be a little more muscular. So right now I'm doing a little dance of balancing the two. In my mind, power building is the idea of wanting to be as strong as possible, but also wanting to be big and lean. So we have those two characteristics that we're trying to develop. And I've seen over the last 3 years, as you've mentioned, that there are a lot of people coming out who want to be these dual athletes, especially women. Women want to be strong, but we also are vain and we want to look good as well. So we have these two sides to us that we want both. So we have a lot of dual athletes out there, and there are some very successful women who are doing both. Is it impossible to serve two masters? It's not. It's difficult, and I think it takes a lot of planning in your year-long preparation. You have to know when you're training for powerlifting, you have to know when you're training for bodybuilding, and you have to know how to transition from the two. I've seen maybe 1 or 2 women who have gone from powerlifting to bodybuilding in less than a month, and it's pretty difficult, but it can be done. So power building, in essence, is being able to be as strong as possible, but also still have the mass and size of a bodybuilder. As far as what, in my experience and what we've been able to do with my programming, is exactly that, is to be able to transition. I transitioned out of bodybuilding. We built my raw strength back up. A lot of it had to do with taking our first couple exercises to build strength, just like a powerlifter would. Okay, you do your main exercise, you squat, you deadlift, you bench, you might do a big supplemental exercise, and then everything else is based off of what aesthetic areas need to be brought up. For me, it was my quads and my shoulders. So after I benched, I was still keeping my strength work in with bench, and then we just hammered a ton of volume on my shoulders, which is what I was able to, bring my delts up. So a lot of it is just being able to balance that too, and knowing what the person needs to work on for their strength, and then also what aesthetic and physique exercises are also going to help enhance not just their strength, but also their, their looks too. It's not difficult to balance the two. I think they go hand in hand pretty well. But we always have to be aware that when you're working towards one, say strength, something else is always going to give. So you may lose some size in certain areas. If you're working towards physique and dieting down, you're going to lose some strength. So there is a balance there. And one thing that I've learned over the last year, in which I've taken a considerable off season, is to be able to take the time to work towards one or the other. In the past, I balanced back and forth, and 4 months of powerlifting, 4 months of physique, 4 months of powerlifting. So this off season really gave me a chance to focus on one and one thing only, which this off season has been towards physique and the aesthetic side of building some mass. We have incorporated a lot of strength work. I've been refining and retuning some of my technique and some of my raw lifts, which has been great. But you can balance it. You just have to be aware of what it is that your body needs, and give yourself plenty of time to be able to build one rather than trying to serve two masters. As we know, it's always a little difficult to do that.